Ladies and gentlemen, hi there. In this video, I'm gonna be playing Expedition 33. I'm doing Simon Boss on New Game Plus with 10x health modifier on, and I'm gonna win this battle just alone with Lune. So this is solo run with Lune. This is actually the last boss that I haven't killed yet, and in this video, I'm gonna kill him. And I'm in this voiceover, I'm just gonna go through the basic tactics which I'm gonna apply and explain a bit of what I do, mention a few of the essential pictos, and open up the strategy side. So let's get on with it. So the rules are simple. We don't want to utilize any glitches or anything like that. If there is any glitches to utilize, first of all, but we haven't really maximized our. I think I have around 650 luminas, and I've seen videos with people having like 999 luminas and to have all the pictos. But I think we have like, I don't know, 70-80% of the pictos. But the most essential ones we need for the specific fights are the ones that boost our damage. And this is because when the Simon enters Simon is two-phased fight, where the first phase is where you just kill him, and the second phase is the one that has two different phases inside of it. And the last phase, the second phase, starts with skill, where Simon erases you from the canvas. So, and if you're gonna solo this, obviously you need to be able to avoid that somehow. And with Lune, since we don't have any stun locks or stuff like that, we just need to kill him before he enters the second phase and erases us from the canvas. But that's easier said than done, because Lune is not the best damage dealer. Um, she does a tons of damage though, but when we're playing with 10x health modifier on, Simon will have around 1 billion. I think it was 1 billion and 18 million of HP or something similar to that. And he enters the phase 2 and erases you from the canvas when his HP is around 30 to 40%. Now, I have played this multiple times, so I have a good understanding of how the health bar of Simon should look like when I'm trying to one shot him or kill him just before he enters the second phase. So that's not a problem. The problematic part of this fight is that some of the Simon skills are actually quite hard to parry, and I've been practicing this fight for like 7 weeks to really learn the patterns of the attacks and to feel comfortable that I can parry all of them. In this run, this is not a perfect run because I actually die once on the second phase, but it happened quite early, so it didn't really matter. Another hard part is that, which I struggled when I started when I started working on this challenge, was that um, you have to be able to do like 400 million of damage in one single turn, or at least without Simon having any additional turns, because once Simon will have its turn and he's down to 30%, he will erase you from the canvas. So that means you will have to do either 400 million damage in a single blow, or then you have to be able to stun him so that you will get like three turns in a row, and you can build damage in each separate turn. So in this video, my strategy is that I'm gonna feel his break bar on second phase, just before he enters the last phase and erases me from the canvas. But that's also easier said than done, because you really need to pick the right skills to be able to feel his break bar. And for this, thank you for Reddit community's tips and comments about how to actually do this, because I learned a lot from you. I learned about the break damage and the best skills to actually build the break damage and fill the break bar. So we're gonna be using this skill called Crystal Crush to fill his break bar, and that's pretty much about it. All right, that's it for the first fight. Now we enter the real fight, And we're gonna start this with a crippling tsunami. We use that just to apply the greater slow so that we have time to use our skills and we slow him down a bit. And the second is that we want to use hell just to apply the burn stacks. And we want to do that because at the start of each turn, Simon will draw your shields. And we want to have some shields as well, even though they don't help us on the defense side, but they boost our damage. So, but we want to remove those because when we parry his attacks, we want those counter attacks to deal some damage. So that's why we want to keep some burn stacks on. Yeah, free aim, we want to keep the markup all the time, of course. It boosts our damage. Plus, when he has mark on and we use free aim, we generate tons of AP. So we're able to actually use our skills effectively. So yeah, that's it. Hell, put on some burn stacks. Free aim, do the mark. Then we just do crystal crush and we start filling up the break bar. First, we want to dodge some of his attacks so that we get damage bonus from the dodge picto. Dodge, 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 dodge. 6, 7 dodge. The maximum bonus damage from a dodge picto is 10 stacks. So total amount of damage bonus is 50% more damage. And the way the dodge picto works is that once you dodge, you get 5% damage bonus, and it stacks up to 10 times, and it lasts as long as you don't take damage. So we only need to dodge the attacks like once, and then we keep parrying, and we have the damage bonus as long as we continue fighting. Right, that's about it. Now we have enough dodges. Now we just need to parry. And we want to use these stains. We have light stain, earth stain, fire stain. We want to use those just to get dark stains instead. The dark stains, of course, they help us to deliver the final blow, but they also are beneficial at this point of fight where we want to do the break damage. So when we have 4 dark stains, we want to use Crystal Crush to do tons of damage, around 50 million maybe, or similar to that. But we can, with that one skill, we can fill like 15% of his break bar. This is one of the trickiest skills to parry. I mean, it took me multiple times to practice that until I got the idea and the timing right. In total, I've been practicing this for like 6 weeks. I've been playing pretty casually, just maybe 1 hour per day or 2 hours. I don't know, maybe I'd say 6 to 7 hours on weekly basis of practice. So many days in total. It has taken me many days in total. Yeah, and this is the part where I die, but it's really not a problem because when I die now, we did fill his break bar. We're just gonna break him as soon as possible, and then we just start building damage and we start filling his break bar again. Shouldn't be a problem. But this also means that if we take any hit, we're gonna die and we're gonna lose. Yeah. And now at this point, I was a bit lost because I was unsure how I should rotate just to get to the point that I start filling his break bar again. And I now think I can just skip my row because now when he was stunned, I was unable to fill his break bar. So no idea to put any damage there at that point. Yeah, then we continue filling the break bar. Yeah. Crystal Crush. That was nice, maybe 5 to 7% of the break bar filled. Put some marks on, use Mayhem to get the 4th stain. You have 50% chance to generate dark stain when you consume one stain, when you have this weapon scabbering equipped, right? Long combo, parry, parry. This also took some while to learn the pattern, but not the hardest one, definitely. But requires a total focus. If you get distracted in any point, he will just kill you, and you won't be able to dodge the attacks. All right, then we use Mayhem to use this one light stain. Actually, we just skipped our. Yeah, we didn't have AP there. Then we just parry, 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 parry. Empowering parry, 10x of 50% total damage bonus there. Yeah, I told you about dodge pick though, where once you get the stacks, then they stay with you infinitely until you take damage. I mean, but parry damage bonus works a bit different. You will only have the damage bonus until the start of your next turn, I think. Yeah. So we need lots of parries. All right, and now we do a crystal crush, and look at that break bar. Look at that break bar. That's a lot. That's a lot. Maybe 15%, at least 10, 15, I'd say. 15, I'd say. And then we have gradient charges. We need to do something to, I don't know. I think at this point I decided that we can just deal some damage because we still have to, when his total HP is around 1 billion, and we want to deliver the final blow when he has 400 million left. I think at this point we are good to do around 400 million or something. Yeah. Burn stacks on. Yeah, great. Parry, 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 parry. Bang. I love the gradient counterattacks. Actually, that's not my favorite one on Lune. I think that I will notify you when he does attack where I can use what I consider being the most satisfying counterattack. This was one of the hardest patterns attacks to learn to parry. It has some weird timings. Yeah. Now we just put some damage and to get some light stains. See, when you use a gradient attack, you will generate light stains. Light stains are considered any stain, so when you're using skill, that one needs you to consume like 2 lightning stains to get the damage bonus. You can use just the light stains instead, and it gives you the same effect. So whatever is the stain that you need, the light stain is count as any stain. That's also a nice thing to know because, like at this point, now we had 2 dark stains, so I don't know if it's even possible for us to get like 2 lightning stains, which is what we need in order to use the crystal crush and fill up the break bar. So what I just did there was I used the tremor gradient attack to convert my existing earth stain and light stain to 2 light stains, so I would get the damage bonus for the crystal crush. And that's a tactic I started to apply like at pretty definitely not on the early stages when I practiced this. All right, seems we need to reapply the slow and also the burn stacks. Yeah. We didn't, we actually seems we want to build generate the dark stains at this point, and now we do hell. We apply the burn stacks. Yeah, just like this. Sounds reasonable. Then we parry some. Then we most likely use this with mayhem. I think so. If I do this again, I would now definitely use a mayhem to get the fourth stain, and then use a crystal crash with 4 stains to get pretty much. I don't know. I think we get this break bar around 90% when we use the next crystal crash with 4 active dark stains. Well, unlucky, we didn't get the dark stain there. When you use stain, there's a 50% chance that you will generate a dark stain. So now we need to generate any stains, and I think I'm gonna be using maybe crippling tsunami. I think, yeah. I might have idlet here for a moment. Let me just rewind this, speed it up a little. Let's go. Yeah, so we need a 1 light stain, obviously. Then we try to convert that into dark stain. Pretty much, I think we are going to use mayhem. I don't think there's any other way to use 1 single light stain. I mean, consume it. Actually, there is, but we don't have skills for that at the moment, so we just go with mayhem. Put mark on. Mark would not actually be necessary at this point, but it's just a common way to build your damage, so I will do that. Also helps me to build AP, so that's why I use free aim too. And see that break bar? 45 millions, and now we are like 90% of the break bar filled, and we're able to put like 50 to 100 million more damage until we are trying to deliver the final blow. I think I got a bit nervous at this point when I noticed that now we are getting pretty close to end, and now most likely the only thing that can now fail is that we simply fail to parry any of the attacks. If he hits us even once, we simply lose. That's it. We don't have any shield or anything that would protect us from his attacks because he drains all the shields before he attacks. We've already died once. We don't have any peak toes that would help us, so we just need to parry all the attacks. That's it. Yeah, yeah, we're getting there. Now, at this point, I started slowing down a bit because I really wanted to make sure that I don't fuck up anything. So, like, uh, what could go wrong here is that I am actually filling his break bar, and then by accident I use free aim and break him uh, before I have 4 active dark stains. It's something that has happened to me earlier on some boss fights. So that's why I slowed down a bit right now. And now we managed to fill his break bar. Great. So now we just need 4 active dark stains. We just need to parry everything. Then we are good to go. And we fingers crossed when we do our Skybreaker, we hope for roulette to proc. So we have this roulette pick though. If you don't what it does, it gives you a chance to deal either 200% or 50% of damage on any deal damage that you deal on any skill that you do. So basically, when you're doing your biggest hit, Skybreaker, you have 50% chance to win this game. because you have 50% chance to deal 200% damage, and that's something we definitely need in order to make this tactic work, this strategy to work. Yeah. So thumbs up, we're able to deliver the final blow with 200% damage bonus. And now we need to convert these light stains to dark stains. So, and we're able to generate one dark stain on each turn. So now we're gonna use Mayhem. Just we want to avoid that we don't break him. So we're not able to use Crystal Crush anymore. We need to use Mayhem. We can't use free aim shots at the moment. And you can also notice that right now I have a powerful buff activated. I get that with the Picto when I use free aim shots, but it actually fades before I'm able to do the Skybreaker, and I almost missed that damage bonus before I do the final blow. I almost missed it, but yeah. So at this point, I was thinking what I should do next, because I also fear that I might deal too much damage and he would enter the third phase. So that's why I didn't want to perfect that crippling tsunami to keep the damage moderated. Same here. And now luckily we got the 4 dark stains. Now we just need to parry these next 2 attacks, hopefully, and then we stun him, and then we deliver the final blow. Parry, 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 parry. Oof. Oof. All right, another one. Another one. Jump. Parry, parry. Yeah, that's it. This is it. This is it, guys. This is it. Now, at this point, I just have to fast forward this for a bit. I wanted to enjoy this moment. Yesterday, when I was doing this fight, I went to fridge, took a cold beer, poured it into my class, took a long sip of it. I actually had a friend of mine spectating the game. We enjoyed the moment, had a laugh here. So it takes like 2 minutes for us to deliver the final blows here. So just gonna wait a bit and rewind, fast forward this part. But yeah, what actually is going to happen now is that I stun him, and then I need to apply the mark to get the bonus damage from his mark. 4, 5, there's the mark. But now I notice that I don't have powerful buff at the moment, so I need to use some more free aims to get the buff. There it is. You can see the powerful. Now we're ready. Let's go. Let's go, Skybreaker. Let's go. Let's hope for the proc. Roulette, please. That's it. That's it. That's it, YouTube. Let's go. Bang. That's it. And actually, we were able to skip any. We didn't need to stun to follow up with any other attacks, because we delivered 397 million damage on that single blow. The total damage dealt on this fight was a bit over 1 billion and 14, roughly 14 million HP. Time was 20 minutes plus. Successful parries to 155. Dodges 23. Damage received. Blah 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 blah. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy this awesome game. If you have any challenges that you've done, would be nice to see your videos as well. Drop a comment. See ya. Bye.